I guess I have to turn the music down before we can start talking, right?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
You don't have to.
Oh man, it's hard. Running a show is difficult. Thomas, it's good to see you. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
It's good to be back. And I was on the show for 10-ish minutes last week, but it was, remote from the phone, not in studio, not a part of chat, couldn't see chat, anything like that. So it feels like I took the week off. I didn't feel like I was part of it. So I'm happy to be here.
You feel like you took the week off. I'll have to talk to you about that. No, it's awesome. You had a vacation. Tell me a little bit about it. You were, I know you don't like talking about it beforehand, but now that it's over, because you don't want to jinx it, right? In case it doesn't happen the way it's planned. Now that it's over, how was your trip?
So it was a big adventure. It was a lot of fun. We went to Winter Park, Colorado. Every year we go somewhere a little bit different. We have anywhere from 12 to 15 people in our group that go. We get an Airbnb, split it up and stay in the same house. It's a lot of fun because we love to cook and hang out at the house when we're not skiing versus going, out on the town every night because it's already expensive. So we just do a big grocery run and plan our meals. And it was great. Didn't start so well. We left a night early and stayed about the halfway point in New Mexico. And just to break it up, because it was about 13 and a half hours, I want to say. And I'm gonna pull this up real quick if I can. Let's see here.
Those 13-hour drives are brutal.
They're rough. So this is a quick snippet of our route. So the black line is we're already in Colorado at this point, but it's coming up from Texas through New Mexico into Colorado. And as you can see, the black line is where we're supposed to go. We head out west and then a quick jaunt right up a little pass into Winter Park. 2 days before, avalanche struck 15 cars, pinned them in, shut down that little shortcut there on the black line for multiple days. So we then had to take the red line all the way around in a blizzard, which added about 3 hours to our trip to our destination.
Wow.
Yeah.
So driving.
It was so it made for such a long day. And I get so much anxiety when it comes to driving in bad weather. When I was younger, I didn't as much. We spent weeks and weeks in Alaska and I drove everywhere. But as I got older, it's just my patience and everything has gone away. So I was just terrified. I was like, this is terrible. So let me pop this back off. We made it without incident, everyone, which was great. So that day when we get there, we typically come into town, we grab a bite. Those that have to rent skis and don't have their own, go get their rentals, and then we check into our Airbnb. And then we just get ready for the morning, which is what we did. So it's great. We're happy to be home. The house was great. We're so excited. Mrs. Weatherwatch got new ski boots. And when you get new ski boots, you have to adjust the bindings that they click onto a set of skis. And so I went to do that evening, and the adjustments on her bindings were broken. So we look at it, the base of the mountain, the lift opens at 9 a.m. The ski shop opens at 8. So we're great. We'll leave and go there at 8 and get them fixed and we'll be on our way. And I could tell the story for half the show, but unfixable, bought new ones. They didn't want to put on new ones. So then they found a way to fix the old ones. And so half the day went by. Our friends have been on the mountain all day.
That's awful. You should have just told us about this. It sounds like you were cursed from the beginning anyway.
100%. So half the day's over. We get to the mountain. We can't find any of our friends. It's duct tape and zig. That's right. It's 100%. That could have worked. In all reality, knowing what was broken, actually, that probably could have fixed it. So we get to the mountain, can't find our friends. It's halfway over. They're about to eat lunch already. So we go, no big deal. We'll just go ski a few runs ourselves. Well, they have they got a ton of snow and they're understaffed, so they couldn't groom all the runs. We
Okay.
like to start off skiing blues and that type of thing. Well, they were grooming all the greens and they ignored a lot of the blues. So my first 200 some odd feet off the lift, I just hit 3.5 feet of just pure powder and went right in my face. Thought I
We need a
broke an ankle and a wrist.
Chat. We need a video of all this. That's awful. How were
It
the
was
injuries? Anything permanent?
So thankfully, all I heard was my wife scream, "Oh my gosh, babe, are you okay?" She thought I broke something completely, but luckily, no. I tweaked my knee just a little bit. It was fine, but the wind was howling. It was a blizzard on top of the mountain. We weren't having fun by the way the day started. So we already kind of started everything off with a negative connotation. So we made the best of that run. We said, let's try one more, to which we did, to which we didn't have as much fun either. So instead of even going and skiing all the way down to the base on our third run, we skied halfway down, got on the gondola, and rode it down to the parking lot and
You
waved
know,
the white flag.
you know it's a bad day skiing when you ride the lift down.
Yeah.
So,
It's a gondola,
oh,
not the
yeah.
lift, it's a gondola. Some people do that, but we were the only ones going down on the gondola,
Mhm.
and I told my wife I was sitting there while we're in there looking at the windows are tinted in this gondola at least, and I said, "Look at all the people going up. We're the only ones going down. What do you think they're saying right now about us?"
I want to know what the people at the bottom who were waiting in line for the gondola to come down so they could ride up the mountain thought of you when the doors opened. There was somebody already in. Like, what, do you like forget to get off at the top? Why are you here?
So the good news is the gondolas are so much bigger than lifts.
Mhm.
They with how they go. We jumped out on this side and ran off the side before it got over here for the pick me ups. We
You
we
avoided the walk of shame
we
through the crowd.
strategized the best we could. Yeah. So we jumped in the truck. We headed back into town. We picked up a few loose items from the grocery store that we couldn't get the night before because of all the snowstorms and the closures. The stores, they were barren. We couldn't find coffee. I had to find for the whole house of 15 people. I went to two grocery stores, and it was the third gas station. We found a little bag of Folgers coffee to bring back to
Just
the
you
house.
guys each get a sip. That's it.
Yeah, and that was it. So we ran into town hoping maybe a truck had come by then, and we picked up a few loose items, went back to the house, changed, got warm, and just relaxed. And that was amazing. So that was uh that was day 1.5. But did you
Yeah,
have a better Yeah, yes, no one ran into me, and there
could
was
have
no
been worse.
lawsuit.
Could have been a
So,
lawsuit, long lawsuit that just
yeah,
started up there.
but
Oh man, that is
it was
brutal.
it was a rough get-go. Day 2 was much, much better. Great day with friends on the mountain skiing. Typically, we always opt to make day 3 optional if people want to ski or not ski or go snowmobiling or do some this park had tubing, which some people did, and it was awesome. um, or go shopping. And so we did a little bit of all that. And it's funny because that was on Saturday and it was beautiful. It was 32 degrees, zero wind, sunny. I mean, the mountain was perfect, but it was Winter Park, Colorado. So all of the parking was completely booked. You couldn't get anywhere. You had to take buses if you wanted to. And thankfully, we opted not to ski that day. So we took the shopping route and had fun. And then the final day was leave day. That pass on the map that I showed was then open. So again, I'll bring it back up real fast. So that little black little fish hook there was now open. So we were able to take that home. Which down, if you see at the very, very bottom of the picture, is where it says Woodmore there.
Yeah.
That's where our in laws live. So we were actually not driving all the way to Texas that day, unlike the rest of our party. We were just going there to stay with in laws. So we were able to take that little shortcut and boogie down to the in laws. We were there in 2 hours and 10 minutes and able to relax. And the pass was beautiful. There was people skiing on the side of these ungroomed mountains next to the highway. They backcountry skiing. It was nuts to watch. So all in all, it finished off much, much better than it started.
No regrets after. I mean, it's time spent with friends and family is wonderful. So I'm glad
Yes.
nobody. I did check in with your wife. She popped on just briefly before the show. She got injured as well, so I guess it's a win overall. You know, if everyone's got their health at the end of the ski trip.
100%. And I'm always the big worry because she's a really good skier. She's been skiing her whole life, and that makes me so mad because she just scoots down the mountain like it's the easiest thing in the world. And I'm decent. I'm intermediate, maybe a little above at most. She's like expert level. Just so I'll be the one that comes home injured, not her.
Red Pen says, my ski bum friends all pack their own groceries because the ski resort towns are always shopped clean.
It's so true. We do. I live at ski resort. Oh, Krista, what resort? Where? Well, don't dox yourself if you don't want to, but we're looking for a new location next year. We try to go to a new
general location.
Yeah.
Krista, I grew up living in a state that is literally famous for skiing, and I've never been skiing ever.
What?
Done some snowboarding, but never skiing.
Oh, I was going to say pre-show you were bragging to me about Utah snow, but you've never been on it, but it's snowboarding. So I'm thinking about snowboarding our next trip.
I've snowboarded down one mountain one time. The rest has just been on like little hills and runs and stuff. I've never, ever in my life skied or snowboarded at a resort. The best I've had is a snowmobile to pull me up with a rope. That's my ski resort. But one time I spent, I don't know, it felt like 4 hours hiking up the mountain after a fresh snowfall. And when I just was too exhausted to take another step in the deep snow, strapped my little cheap plastic snowboard on, and I did one run and it was like cloud, just powder. It was a bluebird run. It was perfect. I'm just down once, and I'm like, oh, that was it. I'm never going to do that again. It was fun on the way down, but it was not worth the hike up.
So. That's fair. So yeah, Amber says she's a boarder as well. Personally, I'm thinking I can ski fine down the mountain, but I kind of want to board next year. My only issue with it is, so I did grow up surfing, so I'm not unfamiliar with a board. I know they are different, but I've come a long way since we've been starting doing this the last 5 years, so I can enjoy the ski trip and enjoy the mountain. I can get up and get down. I can even do a few blacks if they're not too crazy. So if I go and I try to board and it's a total flop, I've burnt an entire day on a long drive and a long trip. And it's, these trips are an investment doing it. So I'm kind of nervous about that, but I've got a snowboarding friend who says, get a ripstick. It's one of those broken skateboards.
They are broken. Have you ever tried to ride one?
Well, no. And he said, ride one.
Let me tell you, a ripstick is a skateboard with half the wheels and it pivots in the middle.
Right. Exactly.
And the wheels are like caster wheels. So they like full spin and they rotate in like 7 different axes. It's impossible to ride.
Yeah. It's like running on ice with tile shoes from what they look like. But he goes, yeah, just get one of those and practice. And if you can halfway do that, you'll be able to snowboard no problem. Well, I watched a few videos and I'm like,
my youngest rides a ripstick while solving a Rubik's Cube and talking about something completely unrelated on a rough surface and never falls. I don't know how they do it. Kids are doing it.
So he's a brilliant snowboarder.
Yeah, he did not get that from me.
6 volts. Ripstick was invented by Big Pharma.
Hospitals were having a slow day and thinking, how can we increase the input? It sounds like your trip was awful as far as the driving goes. I mean, that's a long. You thought about flying, or I don't know. How many hours?
Or a motorcycle? 13. Well, it's supposed to be 13 hours if we could cover that pass, but because of the avalanche, that added 2.5 to 3, and then the blizzard conditions. So I think we drove a total of. I think we were roughly around 16-ish hours total getting there. Is what it did. Thankfully, we broke it up and we all stayed at the hotel halfway there the first night. Otherwise, that would have been a full day and a nightmare. And we would have been late. We would have missed the store that's open that does the rentals. So people would not have gotten their skis and whatnot for the next day. I mean, they would have, but not on time. I mean, it would have been a big mess. So it was more of a pain and a hassle, but it didn't cause any issues on day one. So that's the good thing.
I'm just thinking of how much faster that commute could have been if you and your wife had hopped on those bikes in your garage. It might not have been more comfortable during the weather, but how much time would you have saved on that commute?
Traction? would have been traction would have been an issue.
So the semantics. I'm just looking at the time you could have saved. Average speed.
If we're on one of these.
Yes, yes, on one of those. That looks like. I mean, I don't know where you'd put your skis. I think that's the biggest concern.
Well, when you get to the snow and the ice, you just wear them. Put your feet down because the
Maybe.
gas throttles right there. But no, funny you say that because there's a guy Watch who drives a bike just like that or rides one. He's based in Dallas. I'm gonna not try to dox him too much because he's in a little bit of hot water. Uh, so I watch him. I don't promote or advocate for what he does or what's in his videos. I
This sounds
watch
like
them.
a big warning label. Where's our content warning label?
Yeah, we need one. So he's a very talented and skilled rider. There's no doubt. But the risks he takes are bar none. It's terrifying because I await the headline of not good news because of what he does. He has a very fast bike, and when he's not out on the track, he's in Dallas. There's a highway 636 that a lot of guys do it on, but they go full throttle and they just go weave through traffic at 175 miles an hour.
Track.
Yeah. And then they post videos and they do it all the time. They post them on YouTube and they get a ton of views and a lot of traction. And I hate it because it's extremely dangerous and it's dumb. Yes, I have very fast motorcycles, but I'm very responsible. For one, I can't afford tickets and suspensions and jail time. And two, I value my life and my family. So I don't do that stuff. Watching it is different.
I hear you describe how fast he drives, but for most of us, we've never had that experience. Is there some way you could help us understand what it's like when that throttles?
I've got a clip here, so let's cue this, and you could see. And now this isn't even as fast as he goes because he's actually in a different climate, and the engine on the bike acts differently. So he's averaging around 160 to 165 at certain areas, but I'll play it now. So that he's not even fully pinned.
I did not look at the speedometer. I was just watching the blur of the cars zooming by. That is exhilarating, and at the same time, my stomach's in my throat thinking about that. This is how my brother drives a car.
Yeah.
A school bus driver who once was very similar. He was driving a race car.
Oh, this is a great comment right here. So how many lives do you get in that video game? Exactly. What's wild is he's Dallas based, big time YouTuber. He's golly, I want to say he's got 250,000 subs, something like that. I don't know for sure. But that was a trip to Colorado. That video specifically. He went to Colorado Springs to visit some friends and he does these high-speed runs. Well, he decided to film this video going from Colorado Springs to Denver, which is about an hour commute roughly, depending on traffic. He filmed that video of him doing that high-speed run and he made it in just over 20 minutes to Denver and he posted it on YouTube. Well, it created a big uproar. It didn't.
The police are doing the math. They're like, hang on.
Wait a second. This wasn't edited and you just did that in 20 minutes. There was a lot of backlash. First of all, he was an out-of-towner. So the Colorado motorcycle guys were just so irritated that he did that and uploaded because now it's bringing attention to areas they are and what they do and things like that.
Association. Yeah.
Yep. YouTube was angry, so they removed it from his channel. and the police found it. Enough people of social media said, we know who this guy is. He doesn't have social media where he posts his name. He just goes by his YouTube handle, which it's called Jixer Bra. Jixer is a Suzuki GSX-R. Jixer is the nickname for it. Well, they contacted with some tips, some counties in Texas where he's from. They know exactly who he is, his everything, his name. So he's got multiple warrants out of El Paso County, Colorado, for the way he drove up there. So he can't go back to Colorado. Yeah, 100%. And it's funny because the article that the sheriff's department released and looking for him said his name, age, and everything. And so many of his followers and viewers don't know who he is. And if anyone sees that now, they do. I mean, because he does big meetups with sponsors and things like that, but he'll only take pictures with people with his motorcycle visor helmet down. So you might see his face, but if you're doing a picture, visor down, so that way it can't get on the internet. But now his name's out there.
I'm thinking, even now, with a good lawyer, can you prove it was him? Can you prove it was him on the bike?
That's so true.
You might be able to get out of this one.
The DUI guy might be able to say, hey, how can you prove that was Mike Lyon on that motorcycle? He just uploaded a video of someone that borrowed his bike. I mean, so it's a tough one.
I imagine they probably pull his cell phone data and they can put a lot together. Circumstantial evidence might get him convicted here.
Yeah. So he can't go back to Colorado because that's there. And they're looking for him in Dallas forever. And now that they know his name and who he is and what's going on. But I do know he had a very distinguished motorcycle. It was half white and half purple. But it's getting all redone and reworked, and no one has seen what his new motorcycle looks like right now. So that might
be redone. It should be redone right after that movie got pulled down. Let's put out the warrant.
100%.
It's spray painted in somebody's garage right now.
Indeed, it is.
Yeah. Oh, one more reason not to drive on long drives like that. You might have crazy people like that. You should just fly.
You should fly. Before the most perfect transition ever. Mm-hmm. Melanie says, what's his YouTube page? It's Jixer Bra, which is Gixxer. And I'm pretty sure bra, he spells Brah. And I think if you search that and get close enough, you'll find it and you'll see. And there's tons of videos like that nonsense on there. But yeah, motorcycles, not planes, but planes can't go fast.
Now going back to the most perfect transition we've ever had on the show.
It was the best, and I stopped it.
Greeners would be proud. Red Pen would have given me 100% on that one if she graded it.
Adam?
Yes. Adam, I'm not sure. Adam's like, meh. It was iffy. But you can fly. You can always fly. It's quicker. You're going faster even than the motorcycle when you're flying. Saves a ton of time. And usually you don't have to put up with the weather as well. I mean, there can be some weather problems that cause planes to reroute. My wife obviously ran into that. Flying back to North Carolina, it got pretty bumpy. But there was one flight for America Airlines that had to turn back due to high wind just recently, but it was not detected on the radar, which I'm not sure as a weatherman you might understand how that might work. How there could be high winds in the plane, but not around the plane.
I know how weather is usually to blame, and winds can be, but in the plane, not out the plane, that one I can't help on.
Well, there was a flatulent flyer.
Oh, perfect.
Breaking winds in the plane. Enough. I don't know if they didn't say hurricane force. There was just you're in an enclosed space. You really there's nowhere to go, and it was bad. And it was continually bad. It was breaking bad winds, and that's what it was. It was so this plane, it caused a big stink. It was terrible. But from going Phoenix to Austin, most people had boarded. They observed this guy who's having issues and some language and everything else, and the majority of passengers boarded. The guy says, "You thought that was bad. How about this?" And proceeds to continue breaking wind. It was so bad that they had to call it off as far as the flights. You need to be able to open a window or something like that, and that's just not an option in a plane. And they had to. I mean, you've heard of clearing the room before. Well, they cleared the plane.
So he was purposely letting them rip, so to speak. He wasn't. It wasn't like, you're a plane, right? It's real tight, it's confined. Someone lets something slide. You don't know if it's the one next to you, behind you, in front of you. But so he was boasting about his breaking wind.
Yes, he was like full on bragging, and the flight attendants are like, "Look, you've got to put a cork. I don't know what you've got to make this stop. Okay, put a cork in it." The plane's taxiing to the runway. It stops. They turn around. They go back to the gate, and they made him leave the plane. They made him leave, and then everyone was able to breathe a sigh of relief when it was over.
Lalo Me says literally crop dusting.
Yes, quite literal.
That's insane. So I'm assuming, giving his behavior, this individual was traveling alone. There's no way he's accompanied by anybody else.
Yeah, I think he's in a rental car on his own wherever he was going, because no one wants to take him, but especially because it was like intentional. He was like, I don't know. I guess some people can do that, but
chemical warfare. That's
it was bad.
We've all been on, well, not everyone, I'm assuming, but most have been on flights, and you've experienced situations, and you're like, but you never look over, and it's the guy going, "It's me."
Hey guys, check this out.
Yeah, never. It's most people are trying to hide what's going on. That's there's no one bugbear, no one who would claim him. That oh gosh, well, that's another perfect segue right into our top three. And we haven't done this top three before. We've had a few that have repeated from time to time, or they've been close. This one's different. This one, we have to kind of be honest with the audience. And I think chat's going to explode with this one.
It is the top three pet peeves. Top three pet peeves. These are the things that you just cannot stand that somebody else does, that just gets on your last nerve.
100%. No matter how big or how small, how petty, it doesn't matter. It just
it's grinds
your gear.
It's something we need right now. This is not something small. Some people have them about pronunciation. If you say a hard G on the end of a word, and it's like, I can't stand that. People are flying on airplanes, says Red Pen. I think everyone has that on the list now at the top. But I want to start with this one. That's from my son, my youngest son.
We're calling out family.
I'm calling out family.
I'm going to do the same. So
he's 8. The kid has personality. Like he's a 21-year-old and rules the world. That's his personality. He's larger than life is how he lives. He comes to dinner and he's like, "Who keeps turning the toilet paper around on the toilet paper dispenser?" And we have one of those toilet paper dispensers, like freestanding, and it has like rolls underneath and then a little spool on the top.
Yeah.
So a little metal frame, a little cell phone holder at the top and everything. We just have one of those decorative ones. Somebody's putting it on that little spindle the wrong way, and it's easy. I mean, it's just a little spindle. You can take it off and turn it. I mean, you don't even have to like squeeze the little insert or anything. It's a quick fix.
So you don't have to call out your family of who did it differently. You can just fix it.
You like it, and then you're good. You can do the whole MIT method if you need to, and it's not a problem. But he's like, somebody keeps changing it to make it so it can't unroll when I want to unroll it. And I go to use the facility shortly after that, and he's gone into my little bag of tricks. I've got a bag of locks for lock picking because I do lock sport.
Yeah.
He's assembled like 6 different locks together, linked them together, and he's connected the end of the toilet paper holder with the link for the phone thing. You cannot get the toilet paper roll off the spool. It's locked on there, and it's like 6 locks. It's top heavy, and he's like, "I fixed it. I put it on the right way, and no one is going to change it."
It's the escape, the ripstick.
On the right, the ripstick does
the smart one.
Apparently, his pet peeve is the toilet paper being on the wrong way. So I told him the locks have to go. They can't. What would the guests think? It looks like we're trying to keep somebody from stealing the toilet paper. But all right. So I guess I have not pre-made this list, so I'm going to think. Do you want to start? Do you have some ready that you want to begin with?
Yeah, I'll get it. So disclaimer, top 3, this could easily be a top 10. We could easily go down top 10 list because there's no way we have 3 pet peeves. But and I can't even say that these 3 are going to be my top 3. They're just kind of what comes to mind. I was kind of brainstorming this, taking my daughter to school this morning when I was thinking about the podcast, and it something happened to me on the way there, and I went, top 3 is going to be pet peeves. I'm tired of it. So one of my many, but it's in the top 3, is when people drive and they don't use their turn signals. It drives me up a wall.
And may not want to come visit us. I'm not saying us. I'm saying generally in North Carolina.
Oh no.
Turn signals are sort of an advisory after the fact. If somebody flips you off, you can show them what you just did by turning on the turn signal. That's used, and it's even then rarely.
It kills me. Now, it's not everywhere. I get it. It's if there's no traffic around or the car's so far behind it doesn't matter. Totally fine with it. But I'm driving down our main thoroughfare this morning. It's 3 lanes going east, 3 lanes going west. It's busy. It's rush hour at school. There's a lot of traffic, and people are in a race, and they're going. Yes, I love this one, Kenny.
No, sorry,
best friend. You can turn right and left all over the place, right? Because there's restaurants, breakfast stop, everything you name it, work establishments, schools. And so when we're commuting in the flow of traffic, and all of a sudden you just hammer your brakes, and now we're okay. Do I need escape routes? It's a wreck. What's coming? What's happening? And then you just ease over into your turn lane. It's like, okay.
I was going to say, we just watched a video of motorcycles. We saw a picture of your motorcycle, and now you're complaining about people not having their signals on because you can't know where they're going to turn. I think, was that a video that you filmed?
I need people to get out of the way, and I know where they're going.
Zip down the freeway. Have enough warning if somebody's going to cut into your lane.
Well, it's funny you say that too. Since I've not just got got another motorcycle license. When I'm not riding, it's made me an extremely cautious driver in my car because you have to be such an aware rider on the motorcycle. So in my car, I'm extra cautious. So now when I'm driving around in my car, I'm almost as if I'm on my motorcycle. I'm way more on attention and watching what's going on. And I can't stand it. The no signal thing. And Mrs. Weather Watch is up there on the list. She doesn't do it. And I look in the mirror and there's someone on our tail and there's no blinker.
Why are you whispering?
Because she could be right outside my office door and I don't want to hear her. But someone's on our tail and then we're going to turn. So we just slam the brakes and then make it. I'm like, for one, we could get rear-ended, get hit. But 2, we just anyways, that's one of them. I'm not going to keep going.
So turn signals, top on the list. I am a stickler for using my turn signal. I'm 3 seconds before the move, 3 seconds before the change. You've got to warn people.
Yeah, 3 seconds is just a dandy. Why even turn it on?
Honestly, 3 seconds, that's plenty of time. 3 seconds is enough time that someone else can see me. And maybe if I don't see them, they can at least be aware and they might honk or they might, slow down or move out of the way or in most cases speed up and block my path. But either way, I do use the turn signals.
Or just rear end you while they're texting and driving. Because that's what happens too.
Okay, so this is a pet peeve, and this is a weird one because it's a pet peeve and I do it. And it's only a pet peeve when I do it because I've never noticed anyone else ever do this. But sometimes when I'm talking and I get really excited, my jaws are flapping. Basically, I'm trying to tell a story really fast, and my teeth come together and make contact and hit. It's like it's bad. It's bad. It's so bad. It's like I did not mean for my teeth to come together, and they did anyway. It is awful. I don't know if there's anything worse than that. The surprise teeth clash. I don't know what you call that.
I don't either. I've heard people in chat are smacking while they're chewing. Loud gum chewers.
Teeth on the mic. That would be worse.
No one has said teeth chattering, I guess. Is that what's happening?
It's a single hit. That's a you problem, says Red Pen. It's all me. Okay, well that's a big one. That's a big one for me. So apparently I can fix that for everybody because I'm the only person who does this. So
I forgot one. We got to see. We got a big one here. Remember 9 months, Julie Martin. Hey, gang, we've been together long enough to birth a baby. Woo, woo, oh,
we need to do a gender reveal. Julie, we need to do a gender reveal. This could be disastrous. They always are. Julie, thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful 9 months.
That's really so cool. Awesome. That, to be honest, I've never heard that one. I've never heard you do it on a stream. And I've never had a friend or an acquaintance or been somewhere where I heard someone just. So when I was talking, I just.
Don't do that, Thomas.
Pet peeve. My bad.
Yes. It's bad. Okay, so let's hear your second one. I'm gonna think of a second one.
Okay, so it's driving again. And I don't know if everyone's going to relate or not. Depends where you're from and where you do it. But it's those that go slow in the left lane on a multi-lane road. It's the far left lane is known as the fast lane or the passing lane. If you're just going to cruise at a slow rate of speed, you stay out of the left lane because people have to get around you because you're a nuisance. You're in the way. You're blocking and impeding traffic. So when you're doing that, I can't stand it. And it happens too many places.
I like it being called the passing lane. If you're not passing, get out of the lane.
100%. Fast lane is from Southern California because everyone speeds and goes crazy there. Where I'm at now and have been for the majority of my life, it's called the passing lane. And it's actually a law. It's a stay to the right unless passing. And people just sit there, either speed limit or below. No camping, and they do it, and then it just blocks everyone up. I hate it. Another traffic one just gets me.
For those moments when you wish you were a police officer, you're like, I wish I just had lights. I would write them a ticket right now. I would be late to my meeting. I don't care. I'm late right now because of them. I would stop. I would take the extra 10 minutes it takes to just teach these guys a lesson and give them a ticket, and make them pay for the crime that they're committing.
You're speeding by 7-8 miles an hour. I'm just going to pull up next to you and give you a little wave and just let you know, hey, I'm a cop and I'm here. I'm not going to battle with you. You're in the left lane going the speed limit or a little below, I'm giving you a ticket.
I'm throwing the book at you.
Yeah,
like, I'm going to look for any other infractions, tail lights out, maybe your little, I'll do a full roadside inspection. I'll do a DOT inspection on your vehicle right there. Is there a chip in your windshield? Do you have a tag hanging from the back of your rearview mirror? Yeah.
Reverting right back to our ski trip. So we took a new truck, 1,300 miles on it. Got 2 rock chips in our windshield. One on the way there, one on the way back. This was our 6th trip. Never had anything like it. We got 2 on this trip.
It was probably a big old chunk of rock salt from the snowplows that got kicked up.
Yeah. And the first one was no big deal. Top right corner of the passenger. Didn't affect it. Last one was on the way home, me driving. Right here. Just right in front of me.
Bullseye. Nailed
it.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm gonna go to a food pet peeve for me on this one. Okay. I've seen a couple comments. Somebody was saying that the empty milk carton that gets put back in the fridge. Like why? But I'm gonna go with the peanut butter knife being put back like vertically in the peanut butter jar, so it just sinks down up to the handle. Because first of all, we have a big family. The peanut butter jar we buy is big. It's usually bigger than the knife. But sticking the utensil back in so it can just sink down into the quicksand of peanut butter, no bueno. You end up with a handle covered with peanut butter, and nobody wants to use that. And then so what do? They get another knife and do the same thing with that one. And pretty soon you've just got all your good knives in the peanut butter jar, and nobody takes them out.
Wait, so your jar is so big that you can put a standard butter knife in it and it'll sink below the threshold of the lid and just wow.
We buy it like Sam's Club, so we get it's you buy it by the gallon when we get peanut butter, so it's
that wouldn't. I've never had to experience it, but that would infuriate me. You don't leave silverware or anything in any sort of food item when you're done. You take it all out, wash it, sink.
Kids, they're not. This is not making sense to them.
Are they? I hope they're watching because that's not allowed. It's not okay.
Yeah, plenty of people that think
Oh wow, I've never had it because we do the small. We for one, we have a 3-person family, but two, we don't go through much peanut butter, so we just get like a small thing of Peter Pan. I mean, it's like not even half the knife gets to the bottom of the jar. So you just when you're done, there's no choice but to throw it in the sink and wipe it up, clean it up. We can't leave. Now, if they left a knife in that little jar and just put it in the pantry uncovered, we'd have war.
that's bad.
Oh, that's a good one. There's so many. I'll go with my last one, and this one, I am against a war in this household, and it is being late. And my daughter learned it from my wife. And if any one of them are involved, we are late. And I hate being late.
When I was involved, you're late.
If anyone are involved of them, I'm late.
They can't be on the podcast then because we are always on time. We're never late here.
Well, you saw it. Who popped in here and caused a distraction before we started? When I was young and growing up, my mom told me to quit worrying about time so much because I was going to give myself an ulcer before I even knew what an ulcer was. It was that much. And then
Jen says, I didn't know this was a thing. What is this on time of which you speak?
It kills me. It's terrible. And it's past the point of lying about departure time because they're on to me. They know it's a joke. So it doesn't work. The whole family, the friend, everyone knows. Oh, I hate being late. And so Carla, so will my girls, 100%.
They might miss it altogether.
It'll be a complete whiff.
No show.
So they're always like, why don't we go on a trip? Why don't we go fly somewhere? Because I don't want to pay that money and miss the flight. We won't get it back. I'm not doing it. If you prove to me for 1 year we can be on time, I might book a flight somewhere for vacation. Otherwise, no. And next trip, we're taking separate cars because I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do it. I hate being late.
Man, a couple of you resonate with that. A couple others of you, maybe the guilty party.
Which is fair. And I get things happen in life that make us late from time to time. I'm not saying being late once or twice, whatever. But when you're late for every single event or occurrence, come on now.
So this is sort of like a confession here. Okay. I am generally on time, and I can't say all the time because you guys know when I'm supposed to start my podcast and then when I'm supposed to go live and when I do go live. And so I can't say I'm usually on time, but when I am doing a gig like an electronics gig where I'm running someone else's video or I'm filming for them, running cameras for anything, I will be an hour early. I will be way early. I have never in my life, when I've been hired to do an electronics job, been late to anything. I would sooner have to attend my own funeral than be late to one of those things. And my wife notices that there are some things on my schedule that I'm never late for, and then there are other things that
you are late
maybe didn't prepare in a timely manner, and she compares the two which one is which, and apparently she thinks that it means that I think one of them is more important than the other.
It's fair.
Anyway, that's as far as I'm going to take that one. So I don't have to sleep downstairs
yet again after each podcast. Everyone wonders why he's a little tired on Friday mornings. His lives. It's because
she's never made me sleep on the couch ever.
But you just fall asleep in your chair.
I have slept in this very chair. I've woken up at like 2:00 in the morning, still upright in this chair, and this chair does not recline enough that you can really sleep. I'm literally sleeping upright in my chair.
It's like sleeping on an airplane minus flatulence.
Thankfully. Hopefully. Let's see. I've got to come up with one more pet peeve.
It's kind of a hard top 3 because like I said, there's like 10 you could really jump on. I mean, chat's been great.
I have to be mindful of like present company and everything, because I was going to say something about Christmas decorations, and now I probably shouldn't go there because we're on different sides here. No, I'm going to go somewhere else.
It's twice
What?
you brought up decorations today. What's going on over there?
No decorations. Well, actually, my Christmas lights are still up, but I have not turned them on since Christmas, which I think is almost as good as taking them down in a timely manner. Is
No,
it?
it's not. No, it's not. It's funny you say that. 3 houses down, he's done the same thing. They're still up. He hasn't taken them down.
Turn
I
'em
walked
on?
down to get the mail, and I was walking back, and there he is taking them all off. And he goes, "Hey, how you doing?" I went, "Great." And then in my
Better
head,
now.
"It's better now that you're taking the decorations down."
Maybe Saturday. Maybe Saturday I'll take them down. But I've got a whole long list of honeydews that are more urgent than that.
Oh, please do share.
They practically involve getting a new house. And that's I
Oh.
kid you not. We have discovered that we need to renovate both bathrooms simultaneously. Like we've discovered problems,
Oh,
subfloor problems in both bathrooms simultaneously.
that's
And
big.
so, yeah, that's at what point do you just burn the house down and claim it? No, never mind. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. So
Wow.
anyway,
Oh, that's rough.
last pet peeve. Okay, here, this is it. And I realize probably nobody here in chat is guilty of this, but
Which means all of us.
if you have a car, okay, say like you got a hand me down car from a grandparent or something, and it runs and it's great and you're really proud of it, and so you think that the best thing to do to show off your car is to put about double the value of the car into the car stereo and the subwoofer, and
Oh,
then crank it all the way up to 11 and run it day and night everywhere you go. And I'm talking like you're driving, an old Crown Vic that was passed down for generations, and the hood and the trunk is like rattling. You guys, that's not cool. That is not cool. My house was built in 1915. The glass panes in my window were hand blown and cut out and inserted painstakingly, poorly I might add, as well, into a frame where they're not sized right. It is old. You cannot replace this stuff. You can't redo this. They don't make glass this thickness. They don't make anything the way that my house was built. And every time you drive by, I'm at risk of having one of the 32 windows have one of their 16 panes just shatter. And 16 times 32, you do the math. I have many of them broken already. And just every time a car comes by, it goes, here goes another. Here goes another. I'm not going to be able to fix it. Which window's going to go this time? Turn down your freaking radio when you're driving. You don't need that much bass. I know you're going to be deaf by the time you're 20. Okay. You're going to regret this. Consider this. You're doing yourself a favor if you turn it down. Okay. And second, just me to you, it's not cool. And nobody thinks it is. Nobody. Zero people are going, wow. You hear that way? See the bolts that are falling off that car as the stereo just rattles it to pieces? I wish I were that cool. It's not. Stop it. It's not a thing anymore. Please don't do it anymore. Take that, Megan Trainor.
Chat, did anyone else just pick up that it went from a top 3 pet peeves to a full-on rant?
You reached my top one. You reached my top one.
There's a specific few in his neighborhood that he's been wanting to get this out on for years, and he found his chance. And it went from a fun pet peeve to making it rain and venting.
I'm not done. We have a noise ordinance in this town. We have a noise ordinance. You are not allowed to make noise day or night. This isn't just after 10 p.m., but day or night. If they can hear you 150 yards away, it's too loud. It's on the books. We have a police force that has enough time to sit all day at Hardee's and shop every special and stop every single person that goes under the underpass and check for a driver's license, see if they've been drinking. But they can't hear the cars that are driving by them. Do your job. Write the ticket. It will be income for the town. We could use that.
Go, keep going. You got a little more. I'm waiting to hear Mrs. R.A.'s voice. And by the way, he's right.
If I can't hear my car radio because of your car radio, it's too loud.
Oh, the irony. I have 3 12-inch subwoofers in the back of my. No, I'm just kidding.
Sherwin Vegas and crossovers. Yeah.
Oh,
I feel better now, Thomas. How do you feel now that we've
my cheeks hurt. My cheeks hurt because that was the greatest venting session that was not expected to come out.
Now is not a good time, Vicky, to point out that FedEx did not, in fact, show up. At the end of the day, after the window from 11:30 in the morning till 3:15 in the morning, after the window had long passed, they updated the delivery to now be tomorrow. It's expected tomorrow. I can't do this.
This is great. Scott, for sure. The best part about it, there's a motorcycle cop in town. His call sign is Weezer, and Weezer's calling Scott for sheriff. I love it.
Weezer's a band name.
That's right. It is.
My high school was your elementary school, but
roughly. No,
I'm young. Get off my lawn. That resonates with me.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so now that you got it, you good? You good to go on to the next?
I'm good now. I'm not going to vent anymore. I'm actually quite calm, and the blood pressure is dropping.
Okay, so I know the next order in the PO box. I'm going to send you some subwoofers and amplifiers just for fun.
If there was some way I could like interrupt that, if there was like a technological gizmo or gadget that I could push that would just mess with their radio, I'd be willing to invest in something like this. I mean, it's illegal. I'm sure it's illegal, but there's a device called a cell phone jammer, which are illegal to operate. I actually found one for sale at a thrift shop for $15. Okay, it's got like 7 different antennas, all the different bands, because it covers all the cell phone bands. Mm-hmm. And it's got all the antennas on the back and just a power plug. And you plug it in on the front, it just has a switch. It's like on, off. And you turn it on and cell phones go off. It is that good. FCC, not a fan. Not a fan.
Shocker.
But man, if you could just have a pocket version of that every time you go to the movies, problem solved. It's like, and now I can watch the movie in peace.
So the people want to know, did you buy it?
I
did not say. I got it. Yeah.
We're going to the next story.
Speaking of driving and pet peeves.
Oh, yeah.
So we had an episode, I want to say, I think it was right around the holidays, where though it's most common in the US. I don't know in other countries if it's as prevalent or not. I just don't know. It may be or it may not. I just don't have the experience. But the big illuminated signs where the highway commissions, what have you, can put different signage on there. They can change them, right? So there's some funny signs about holiday stuff. And so usually it says like click it or ticket, fasten your seatbelts, stuff like that. So they're really funny. In fact, I think we have a few examples of a few of the funny ones here that we've read before. So there's a big humor part of it, and it goes. Oh, I went too far. I memorized them earlier, but oh no, did I miss it? Oh yeah. So, for example, when there's Amber Alerts, they'll put up the important information of the car, make, model, license plate, things like that. But when there's downtime or they know it's going to be heavy travel, but there's not pertinent information, they'll post some funny ones. So, for example, one of them is the way they spell it makes it sound this way is use your blinker. And that's in Massachusetts. The way they spelled use your blinker to make it sound that way. Another one, 6-volt, shout out to you. It's visiting your in-laws, slow down, get there late. It's in Ohio. That's what they put up.
I approve this message.
Yeah. Like July 4th time, it'll say don't drive Star Spangled Hammered. That was in PA. So all those funny signs. But
Mississippi had one that said 4 eyes in Mississippi, Two eyes on the road.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then it's let's see, there's seatbelts always pass a vibe check, and I'm just asking for drivers to use turn signals. What do you know? Turn signals on. Anyways, this is out of Arizona. It's no joke. The federal agency is discouraging states from posting the humorous signs anymore because of distraction. They just laid out their newest revision of their 1,100-page handbook for navigating these signs. And you actually caught this when we talked about it earlier. It says they strongly recommend against overhead electronic signs with obscure meanings. Strongly recommend.
The little wannabe lawyer in me picked up on that. Strongly recommend.
Meaning they can still do it.
They strongly recommend that you drive 25 miles an hour down a Cloverleaf exit. But I know for a fact that the speed limit is still 65.
So I could
probably push 50 safely around that Cloverleaf in the right vehicle.
100%. And when you and I were talking about it a little bit too, because they want them to be simple and brief and legible and clear. Well, if this happens, people aren't going to read them as much as they did before because they're going to know it's just the generic slow down, buckle up anymore. But knowing there's some comedic relief involved from time to time, every once in a while they're fun to kind of, but if we know all of a sudden they're just going to be another sign, we're just going to ignore them.
If they get rid of these funny signs, like half a dozen interns in every state will be out of a job. Because I swear that's all they do is sit around and write these. May the 4th be with you. I will not.
They've got marketing students from college that are in there coming up with them, plugging them away, and they're awesome. It's so cool. And in this day and age too, the life that we're living, things they're tough and they're stressful and you name it. So there's a sign and it's not an Amber Alert because everything's okay for today and it's something funny. That's awesome. Don't do away with them. I mean, if billboards are allowed to be sold on the side of major highways all over the place, I mean, come on. Then
you better distraction.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen some very distracting billboards.
Very.
I've seen billboards that part of the billboard is set up to make it look like the people setting up the billboard are like having an emergency, and it's like a workers' comp billboard. Yeah. There's a sign worker up there and a ladder, and he's like falling off, and his legs are swinging and stuff. And you're like, "Oh crap!" And no, it's a mannequin. It's a mannequin on the side of the road advertising workers' comp. It's like you probably caused 1 million wrecks, and you got a lot of people to look at it. But yeah,
I think I know the most dangerous billboard in the United States, and it just dawned on me right now. I didn't even think about it until you brought this up. It's in San Diego, the Safari Park, which is different than the zoo. It's different animals, different thing. The billboard has, I don't remember the animal, but it's got one with the holographic eyes that follow you so you look up and they're on you. And as you're driving, the way they go, they keep on. So who's not going to look up there? And as you're driving, you're just watching a good 10 seconds of billboard. That's the most dangerous thing in the world.
It might as well say staring contest, ready, go. How long can you keep your eyes off the road?
100%. It's just now hit me that, oh my gosh, that's so dangerous. But we're going to get rid of a funny little sign. Oh, we could go on. But I don't know. This episode got tense. We need to relax. We need to go do one of our hobbies that just calms down. I need to go for a spin.
I'd love to go for a motorcycle ride, but I sold my motorcycle. I could probably go fishing.
You could go fishing. Ice fishing? For a date?
No. I would need to go get some gear if I go fishing, because I pretty much got rid of all my ice fishing gear, and I have almost nothing when it comes to fishing gear right now, which is a sad travesty, almost a crime against nature. But I'd have to go to the store. We do luckily have Bass Pro Shops nearby.
Love the store. Love it. That and Shields.
Bonus when you go to Bass Pro Shops, it's not just a shopping experience. It's almost like also going to a museum, like a natural history museum, or in this case, an outdoor museum. And you get to see nature as it was intended to be viewed, behind glass and mounted on the wall in still life. Um, but but Wayne, there's another perk. There's another perk to that where you can also, while you're there, you can get refreshed by taking a dip in their pool, because Bass Pro Shops have a pool. You spelled pool wrong. You wrote aquarium. Wayne.
Aquarium.
Pools are open on the top. Aquariums have a cover. That's how you can tell the difference. There's one guy who headed to Bass Pro Shops, and I don't know if alcohol was involved. I think it was. I hope it was, because is that wrong?
We can flip a coin and figure it out real quick, I'm sure.
They heads on both sides on that one.
Well, heads is yes and tails is yes.
So he heads to Bass Pro Shops, which is a huge outdoor shop. If you haven't seen it, it's an experience. You go there, it's amazing. They have everything you could possibly use for hunting, camping, fishing, any outdoor sport related to like that. And they also have a huge aquarium that has massive fish, and they put fish native to the area, and it's beautiful. It's incredible. The fish themselves are just impressive. Well, this dude, he's like, well, I'm done shopping for now. Hold my beer. I'm going to go for a quick dip. I didn't bring my swimsuit. That's okay. I was born with one. I'll wear that. And he jumps in buck naked into the fish pool. We're like cannonball, jump in, swim it around.
With the fish.
With the fishies. He
was
being swimming one with nature.
Attaboy.
This is where the pool turns into an aquarium, because the aquarium has clear glass that makes it very easy to see all the details of the fish and everything else, be it small or large. It's clearly visible to all the shoppers, many of which are of the younger variety. And this dude doing his little froggy kick in front of the glass put on a show.
This is a Pickles Not Privates channel.
Yes, he put on a show and a half. I would sooner be caught fishing in their display ponds than doing what he did. I don't know how this was going to end up for him. Did you hear? I think he got arrested. I think somebody donated something for him to wear out to the police car, but I think he got arrested.
Bless the cops that gotta drag a guy. Like, they gotta hope when they say, hey, come over here to the edge, so they can grab him by the arms and just yank him out. But when he's like stalling and delaying, they're not in a hurry to go in there and get him, because when they get him and they get him out, I mean, hashtag gloves is all I'm hoping that they've got going on.
Alabama, by the way, Alabama is the state that this all went down in. The funniest part of this story, and I can't share this with you. Should I go here, Thomas? I've told you about this part.
Yes.
The funniest part of this story is that a very witty comedian, a female comedian, picked up on this, and
we can share the name, right? So they can look it up.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I will say, content warning, not safe for work, not for the kids. This comedian heard about the story and then went online to post a little TikTok as if she was his wife defending his actions. And that's as far as I can go on this. Okay, that's as far as I can go. Do you want to share her name? Do you have it right there?
Yeah, I've got the name. So again, like Scott said, content warning. Depending on family, friends, work, keep it to yourself first.
Don't watch it now. Watch it later.
The YouTube channel is Madam Power, MADAM space
or
power.
You can just search YouTube for Bass Pro Shops wife. Swim.
Wife.
Pool
It's
swim
wife
wife.
of naked man in Bass Pro Shop aquarium speaks out. Which again, it's not her. It's a spoof pretending to be. And it's and buckle up. It's
yeah.
it's
your sides will split. It's irreverent. It's sacrilegious in many ways. It's a little bit crude. It's rude, but I can't really say I recommend it, but that's the funniest part. This is how the story ends. This is the completion of the story. That's it.
Right. That's how it goes. But, Oh, I couldn't imagine being there and witnessing that. And I love the store. I
Those
forget
poor
it
folks,
was
they're
Weezer.
traumatized.
It was Weezer. I think he made a comment. He said "Redneck Disneyland." I mean, yeah, I'll claim it. But there's so much good stuff. I mean, you can even get gear to wear for your winter sports when you're going out. They have a lot of North Face coats and things like that. The only thing I'm not a fan of, and I might good luck, Melanie. The only thing I don't love that I haven't partaken in is the wall of Crocs in the store. I can't get on board with the Crocs.
I've
The
never
shoe.
done. I've never even tried on Crocs.
I
Yeah.
can't do it.
They look like knockoff shoes. Like they're like it's an excuse for a shoe. It's not really a shoe, but it's like some foam stuck into a mold, and it's like, and you just put that on your feet and call it good. I admit I've never been able to wear sandals. They will not stay on my feet. When I walk the way I walk on the ground. I walk right out of them. So if I don't have something across the back of my foot that really like keeps it, secured in, it's gone. Can't.
So it's funny. There's there's a meme out there online, and it says this is what happens when you wear Crocs too long, and it shows the guy's foot in a Croc, and then the next picture is not Croc, and it's just a giant big toe.
Wayne had a comment I have to highlight. I cannot find it. It was related to the Bass Pro Shops.
I got it.
Yeah, there it is. Look at the merman. Yes. Wow. We got to see them feed the fish and the merman.
Oh gosh. Oh, I'd be terrified. Oh, I will tell you what thing. As much as we laugh about the story and how funny it is, if I was in that location with my 14-year-old daughter and that took place, I wouldn't be laughing. I would be fighting very, very severely before the police got there. If
Apparently there wasn't much to see. The crowd dispersed quite readily. It was a small, disturbance, and
we just had very little fun.
Yeah, that's what the lady said. That's what she said. So that's it. The show's over now. We broke it. We have to go home.
Oh,
I'm in trouble, I think.
I might be the same, but the show's canceled. It's actually perfect timing though, because my wife just poked her head in and she asked if I had seen the dog bowl. And I said I didn't know he could.
We already did a story about no jokes. No more jokes. And then you came with one. And yeah, we'll probably edit this one out. So if you saw this live, you are one of the few who got to catch this podcast. We might have to trim this down to about right before, say, that theme segment.
I think so.
It's going to be a short one. So we went again. Right.
That one took a different turn on the ending, but it was still fun. Good laughs. We'll put it in. But again, everyone, Thursday night, thanks for joining us once again. I hated missing last week. It was really fun to be back. Scott, I missed doing the show with you. But chat, you guys are so fun. The involvement, your wit, it's so great. So happy to be back.
Awesome. Thomas, looking forward to next week. We've got tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday.
I'll be there.
It's Friday Eve right now. It's been a good one. So we're looking forward to a weekend where I can remodel both my bathrooms simultaneously. And what was the other thing I was supposed to do? I forget already. So I was supposed to do something on Saturday.
Don't worry. Mrs. Ari will remind you.
She'll remind me. It's on a list somewhere. It's probably taped to the refrigerator. You guys have a good night. We'll catch you guys later. See you.
Bye.